Well, so it's interesting. Tell us a little more about how you said you came here to go to college. I mean, first of all, let me ask this question. I mean, you had a degree in India, and a lot of people ask the question, how come so many students try to come to the U.S. to go to college to get higher education? Maybe you can help answer that question for them. And what does the world see in the United States?
Absolutely. When I graduated in 1988 from Government Engineering College Trichy in Kerala, India, the job situation was very bad. And it was generally bad because of the controlled socialist type of an economy. There is not many private jobs available. It was mostly the government department jobs that were available. And we are a very socialist type country where pretty much everything is run by the government and people are dependent a lot on the government. So
Mhm.
normally after we graduate, we have excellent educational institutions to let you know that our engineering colleges and medical colleges, they're really top of the line, and we really produce a lot of good quality engineers every year. But we didn't have enough jobs for them in our part of the world. So normally what happens is people get some of the local jobs and then others have to go somewhere else to find a job. So the first destination for most of those people are the Middle East. They go to United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, countries like that to find jobs. And that's when I had a job in Kerala, but that was not good enough for me to kind of realize my dreams, my aspirations. So I decided to go outside, and I went to Saudi Arabia first. I was there for a year. Then, after living there for a year, I kind of understood that this is not a place for me. Yes, money is good. You can have good money, and there is less opportunity, less avenues for spending it. So you save a lot of money, but at the same time, the lack of freedom aspect was something that I cared so much for. So I had to decide that I want to go back. So when I went back with an idea of writing the GRE TOEFL exams to go to United States for higher studies. And I have some friends here already. And I actually knew about this even when I was in college, that there is an opportunity to go study for your higher degree in the United States, and gives you opportunity. Yes, I came here for study, but at the same time, the primary pull was to get out of a system where there was not much opportunity to advance economically. So I would say, just like any other immigrant, economic opportunity was the primary motivator for me to come to the United States.
It seems to me that history has shown us that that's pretty much always been the case, isn't it? I mean, initially, way back in the early years, it was the explorers, it was the early immigrants that came over here, either fleeing some kind of persecution of some kind or just looking for a place where they could have opportunity, where they could own their own land, where they didn't have to be a servant to somebody else. They could actually make their own way in life. And I think that's probably the major reason why most people try to come to this country. Would you agree with that?
Exactly, absolutely true. Because nobody really want to leave the place where they are born, where they have all their friends, relatives, everybody, to a foreign land just for the sake of traveling. That is called tourism. If somebody does that,
Yeah.
so when somebody try to immigrate, that is definitely because they don't have everything what they want in the place where they are living at this point. So primarily, that is the reason that drives everybody. And when I was growing up in India, I watched the government systems there. I was really frustrated with a lot of things, but I didn't quite know the alternative. Like, government is inefficient wherever you go. That is beyond any kind of question. Wherever you go, you can see that, because nobody is really accountable to anybody. So when there is a society that is controlled primarily by government and government jobs, definitely corruption comes, inefficiency comes. So wherever you look, it was inefficient.
Mhm.
So we know that there is better things existing outside, but we quite didn't know how those things happen. So when I came here, that was a big eye opening for me, that a lot of the essential functions of the society are driven by private enterprise, which was not something that I have seen in India. Then I started realizing, yeah, this is the alternative, which I never knew that existed in India. So that's the time, the time that I left in 92. In 1991 is, if you remember, the major economic reforms in India happened.
Mhm.
That actually opened up. So the country has changed since then. There is opportunity for all different types of professions now compared to when I graduated. So things are different now, but at the same time, at that time, it was very limited opportunity. So anybody who gets an opportunity to get out and go to America, go to the Western hemisphere, they will definitely jump up, on the bandwagon and leave.